think it's time I film my most basic, go-to, everyday, easy eye look that is like universally flattering. You cannot mess this up. If you need eye makeup for dummies, this video is for you. I have about 20 minutes before I have to go on a Facebook group with like 10,000 people to do a training. So figured, why not sit down and film some makeup? Why not, Katie? Why not? The story of my life. I always say, I want to do this. I want to do that. I've got time to do this. I've got time to do that. And then I don't. But we're doing it anyway. All right, so I have my base face on, just my tinted moisturizer, my bronzer, my color corrector. I'm gonna throw my concealer on real quick because I like to let this kind of sit while I'm doing my eye makeup. And I should have done this before, but sorry, I'm like moving things around. It is so loud. I need to get one of those fancy microphones that connects to me, but all right, so that's concealer. So first thing is starting with framing the eye. You need to kind of set the border. And so I like to do this with a transition shade. I call this, some people call it the crease, sometimes I call it the crease, but really it's more of a transition shade or a border. So I use either natural tan or mocha java most days. This one's just a little lighter and a little warmer, natural tan, and then mocha java is a little darker, a little more neutral or cool. Today I'm gonna go with natural tan, and what we're doing is we're framing the eyes. It's similar to like a picture frame around a picture. It takes up space, it puts the focus on the picture, and it just creates a border for everything to be housed within. So we're doing the same thing with the eyes. With your eyes open, you want to create a frame around it. So for me, I have like slightly hooded eyes, and so my actual crease is hidden. When I open my eyes and I relax my face, my actual crease is hidden. And so I want to put the transition color not in the crease, but right above the crease. For most people, if you touch your eye, it's gonna be like on your brow, on that like actual bone, okay? So taking a small fluffy brush, if you have problems blending your eyeshadows or everything's looking muddy or just muddled together, try sizing down your brush. Use a smaller brush for more precise application. So this is the E25 from Sigma, and I like to do it with my eyes open and just kind of like press my placement, and then you can lift your chin to open up that more lid space. So my mirror is down below me. If you're looking like straight into a mirror, like in your bathroom or something, you could tilt your chin back like that. And we lay down the framework, and I do this with just about every single eye look that I do, whether I'm doing a glam look or just like a basic everyday look. This is a must for me. It's a building block for anything else that I want to do on top of it. And then you'll see that I put a little bit under my lower lash line, and I like to do this again to open up the eyes, create a focus, help create a border to focus the eyes, but this also somewhat camouflages any of the fine lines and wrinkles under the eyes. In the same way that we like contour our face to create shadows and depth, we can do the same thing on our eyes, and it's gonna help camouflage any fine lines and wrinkles that you might have. It's actually a better trick to cover fine lines and wrinkles than using concealer, because concealer doesn't cover texture, so we camouflage it instead. And you can see the difference that it makes from one eye to the next. It's not massive, it's not a deep dark color, it's only a few shades darker than my skin tone, but it really makes a difference and sets the groundwork for whatever we want to do on top. Sometimes I skip this step, sometimes I do this step. So today I'm gonna do it because I have a little bit of time. All right, this next step is an outer corner color, and like I said, sometimes I do it, sometimes I don't. Today I'm going to. It's just going to create more definition to the look, make it look a little bit darker, a little more glam, and I just go in with a darker color. So this is Americano, but this is also a place where I love to play with color too. So if I'm trying to like match an outfit or do something colorful, I love putting color on this outer corner area. Just keeping it neutral today, but keep that in mind for color if you're trying to play with color. All right, so I'm taking it on this small, it's an E30 brush, and we're gonna make like a upside down 7 or like a sideways 7. So a little bit out here and a little bit into the crease. And we're pressing it, and this smaller brush is gonna help keep it more precise, right? So it is quite a small pointed brush, so it doesn't do a great job at blending. So I'm gonna grab another small brush. Okay, this is an E27, so it's kind of like the previous brush that I used, just a little bit smaller, and I'm going to use that to blend. So placing, and then blending. And you can build up the intensity to be as dark or as subtle as you want. That's up to you. But you can kind of see just the additional definition and contour that that creates. I like to take a little bit under the lower lash line, just on the outer edge, just to kind of connect it all together. Okay? So there's our like upside down 7 or like a sideways V, greater than or less than sign, and then blend. Sometimes I'll go back into the previous brush. Oops, that's not it. This is it. This is the one that I use for natural tan, and just buff the two together to make sure we have a seamless blend. This is why I like using a separate brush for each color that I put down, so that I can kind of like bounce back and forth. It's not just like step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I like to kind of go back and forth, and it flows. Okay, it flows. All right, next step is the lid color. Now, the lid color is a super fun place to play with color as well. Today, I'm just gonna keep it simple again with my neutral basic go-to Sandstone Pearl shimmer. But this is, like I said, another place that I love to play with color. Now, my only rule of thumb, because I always say makeup really has no rules. Like, do what you like, do what makes you happy and what makes you feel beautiful. But one rule that I never, ever, ever break, maybe I shouldn't say never, ever, but I literally cannot think of a time that I've ever done this. I like to keep this outer corner darker than the lid color. I will never have a light color, I will never have a dark color here and a light color here. I don't do that. There's a lot of rule breaking in makeup, but that is one that I do not do. I don't think I've ever done. Call me out if I have. but I don't do it. Okay, so next step is the lid color. I'm using Sandstone Pearl Shimmer. It's just a basic like creamy vanilla shade. Let me swatch the other colors that I used so you can see. And these are my go-to shades too. So not just my go-to technique, but my go-to shades. So my go-to technique with my go-to shades, if you will. It's quite a warm palette. You can see, so we've got Natural Tan, Sandstone Pearl Shimmer, and Americano. And this is the go-to technique. So mid-tone, dark, and then light on the lid. You can swap out these colors for any colors though to make any colorful look. You can follow this technique to make any colorful look great. All right, so with shimmers, there's a couple ways that you can apply them. You can use a fluffy brush and just apply, like sweeping across the lid, and this is gonna give you a softer, more subtle shimmer. Or if you want a more intense shimmer, you could use your finger or you could use a flat brush and really pack it on. I'm not looking for a super shimmery wet look. I'm just looking for like a subtle shimmer that kind of helps to like make the eyes pop a little bit, but like I don't want sparkle on my eyes today. All right, once I've got those 3 steps in place, those are like the 3 key steps, the 3 main steps, really simple. Then we're gonna go in and blend out the under eye concealer. And kind of use that to clean up that edge. Woo, I gotta be live in 10 minutes. Okay, let's finish this up. Next is what I like to call my finishers. So these are my basics, my building blocks. Sometimes I'll swap out the colors like I said, but the technique is pretty much the same, go-tos. And then my finishers, I very rarely switch up. The finishers are, eyeliner, inner corner, and lashes. They're pretty standard unless I'm playing with color and stuff like that. I usually just use something black for my eyeliner, snow on my inner corners, and then my primer and mascara. Today I'm using Onyx ShadowSense, and this is just my basic go-to eyeliner. I need to do a whole like in-depth video on eyeliner, so that will be coming. But an angled brush to pick up a little bit of the onyx, and then we just do an upside down triangle. And then sometimes I like to take a little smudgy brush and kind of smoke it out. Sometimes, not always, but we're gonna do that today since I didn't quite nail the, you know, the crispness of it. All right, then we go in with lash curler. I always curl my lashes. And pop some primer on there. This is the Undersense primer. Conditions, lengthens, and volumizes your lashes. It has a built-in growth serum in it. It has like a lash growth ingredient in it that'll help to boost your lash growth up to 46% in 4 weeks. It's crazy. My lashes have never been better. And I know that they're not like fake lash status, but they are so much better than they used to be. Okay. While the Undersense dries, that's when I go do my powder, my blush. So I'm going to do that real quick. I'll be right back.
2 seconds later.
Okay. Powder, blush, a little extra bronzer is done. Last step on my eyes before I finish with mascara is Snow ShadowSense on the inner corners. Just something lighter to brighten. It doesn't have to be snow, but this is my favorite. Just a little brightening. Oh, nah. Not the last step, sorry. This is now the last step. Some black pencil liner on the waterline. I like doing this whether I'm wearing a full glam eye look or maybe even nothing except mascara. This just helps to thicken up the lashes and make them look more defined and dense without taking up real estate on the eyes so it doesn't look too harsh. It's a game changer. It is such a game changer. An amazing trick, and this pencil liner stays all day long, doesn't transfer. Last step is finishing up with some mascara. This is the black regular mascara, not waterproof. And I just do a heavy coat. Lots and lots of mascara. That is the look. Makeup for dummies, okay? It is like, some days I'll do more intense, more glam. I'll build off of this. Some days I'll do a little bit less if I'm like in a hurry or something, but this is my go-to basic, easy, staple technique with my staple colors. This is what you see most often on my face. So I hope you guys found this video helpful. I hope you enjoyed it. Everything will be linked in the description box below, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.